Hold the train, everyone. That's right. Restore the SnyderVerse is back on. It is back on. That's right. I don't know if you know this, but apparently we've taken another step or two towards the direction of the SnyderVerse being restored. It's pretty epic, if you ask me. So how did we get there? How are we almost to the point where the SnyderVerse will be restored? Well, let's take a look here, okay? This coming from a place called Let's Cinema on the Twitters or X or whatever you want to call it, has this to say. Netflix apparently is preparing to bid Warner Brothers. It's eyeing the film studio and its streaming arm. Now, what's interesting is people seem to think that buying Warner Brothers Discovery, if Netflix does, they're going to restore the SnyderVerse. I don't exactly see how those two correlate, but we'll keep going. Okay, let's see. Maybe this will explain to me how that all works out. Now, it says, rather than acquiring all of Warner Brothers, which includes Discovery, it would also include their sprawling portfolio of cable networks, IP divisions, and legacy broadcast arms. If Netflix acquires Warner Brothers, the streaming wars won't just end, they'll reset the entire power structure of global entertainment. Look, I did an article over at SlavsFreeTalk.com on why I think Netflix buying Warner Brothers is the worst possible thing that could happen. It is a terrible idea because, first off, we want more competition. We don't want less. I know I've been saying for years that it's inevitable where a lot of these big conglomerates are going to be created as more big companies start to merge and these studios start to merge into one. I get it. But Netflix is already is pretty much at the top of the food chain when it comes to streaming. HBO Max is up there as well. It is a great streaming service. It has a lot of great content. If Netflix kind of engulfs that, it's not a good sign. It's not a good thing. Anyways, as they say, Netflix already commands 301.6 million subscribers worldwide, more than Disney Plus and Max combined. Warner Brothers brings not just like Harry Potter, DC, and HBO, but a century of production infrastructure, studio networks, and cultural know-how. Together, that creates something Hollywood hasn't seen since its golden age. A vertically integrated giant that owns the full pipeline, which is creation, distribution, and global reach. But unlike the old studio system, Netflix doesn't just distribute content, it programs culture in real time, algorithmically across 190 plus markets. Okay, still don't see what they are thinking about how this could restore the SnyderVerse. I don't see it. I know some people think that because Zack Snyder went to Netflix, he did Army of the Dead, was a producer on Army of Thieves. He did the Rebel Moon films that weren't wildly successful. They did what they did. They weren't wildly successful. The thing that people need to understand, yes, they made 4 movies off of one budget. They were 2 movies. Really, it was just one really, really long movie that they cut up into 2 and then took those 2 movies and took out a whole bunch of stuff and said, well, here's 2 movies out of stuff that we cut out. Like, it wasn't 4 movies. It was just a ploy to play on the Snyder Cut, a moniker that was created. It was childish and really a dumb idea for them to do that. Had they just released the 2 R-rated versions, it probably would have been more successful, but they didn't do that. And now Rebel Moon, those films were tarnished, probably not going to get any more. But does that mean he has a bad relationship with Netflix? I'm not going to say he has a bad relationship with them. Dan Lin is over there running things now, and there's a history there that rumor has it he is not a big fan of Zack Snyder. So if that's the case, if that is true, if he's not a fan of Zack Snyder, well, why would he restore the SnyderVerse? Okay, that's number one. Now, number two, okay, this whole idea of restoring the SnyderVerse. Let's say Netflix bids for Warner Brothers, because it's possible, they could. Let's not forget that David Ellison, who currently is Skydance and Paramount right now, he is also looking to bid for Warner Brothers. Interesting. Now, some people sit here and say he doesn't have the money to do this. Well, sometimes. And I know it comes down to the shareholders, the stockholders, all that kind of thing, and they'll vote on what's in their best interest. But sometimes those people will look and say, what's in the best interest of the company? Is a merger with Paramount better than a merger with Netflix? Now, that's a possibility. That's something a question that could come up down the line. So they could sell to Paramount because, hey, it might be less money, but it could be a better fit. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but that's a possibility. But Slav, the SnyderVerse could still get restored then. The SnyderVerse is not going to be restored, people. It's not. It's not. Those out there who are sitting there saying things like, hey, the SnyderVerse is coming back because Warner Brothers is going to get sold. They're doing that to get a rise out of you, to get you to click on their videos, to get you to simply watch their stuff, to subscribe to them. That way, they constantly get your clicks because they want you to think that they're on your side. But they're not. In reality, I'm on your side because I'm the one that's telling you the truth. Look, is it completely 100% out of the realm of possibility that we never, ever, ever see the SnyderVerse again? No, there's always a possibility. Always. I will be completely honest and truthful with you on that. There's always a possibility of possibly seeing the SnyderVerse in some form or fashion again. Look, I'm one of the people that sit there and say, animate the SnyderVerse. But the fact of the matter is, just because a sale or a merger is going to take place, because we know it's going to, that does not mean that the SnyderVerse is coming back. That does not mean that it's a step in that direction. That's just asinine. That's just dumb. That's just idiotic. That is just poor judgment. That's not smart thinking. I would love to see the SnyderVerse finished. The story was great. But I understand how things work. And the fact of the matter is, it's not going to be finished. It's not. Not because Zaslav signed Mike DeLuca and Pamela Abdi to a new contract. That's not why it's going to get restored. No, he didn't sign them because he doesn't trust James Gunn and Peter Safran. He signed them because, well, their deal's up next year. So he wanted to get on it and say, look, you did a hell of a job this year. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Here's an extension. Next year, when James Gunn and Peter Safran are a year away from their expiration, if Zaslav is still around, guess what? He's going to say, you know what? I'm liking what I'm seeing. Here's an extension. That's how it works in business. He's not doing that because it's restore the SnyderVerse. He's not doing that because he's afraid of what's happening. This sale, David Ellison isn't looking to buy Warner Brothers Discovery because he wants to restore the SnyderVerse. Netflix isn't looking to buy Warner Brothers Discovery because they want to restore the SnyderVerse. That's not how it works. They're looking at it from a larger picture. I heard a funny thing on X, and you guys will know who I'm talking about here. Nostalgia sells. Nostalgia sells. That's what sells. Deadpool and Wolverine sold $1 billion, made $1 billion because of Hugh Jackman. Spider-Man No Way Home made $1 billion because of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. So, the only right thing to do for DC is to make $1 billion by bringing Henry Cavill back. They went on to say, put an end to it once and for all, make Man of Steel 2 and Man of Tomorrow in the same year. And like, it's stupid stuff like that these people will tell you and say, and then go around and say, restore the SnyderVerse is happening. SnyderVerse is coming back. You understand that, right? Like, you understand, like, those are the same people saying ridiculous claims like that, ridiculous things like that then will sit there and twist this stuff to make you click on their videos and subscribe to them to try and manipulate you to watch them more and more. It's sad. It really is sad. But look, it is what it is. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. It's inevitable that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to get sold, merged, whatever it is down the line. We've been talking about this for 3 years now. I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's called it. Who's it going to be? How's it going to happen? Is it going to be split into two companies like Warner Brothers Discovery is trying to do and then get sold in pieces? Or is it going to be sold as one big company? It's to be seen. I think Netflix is the worst angle and possibility. I said that a couple months ago or a month or so ago. Paramount might be the best option, but look, there could be other players out there that we don't even know about. Remember, these SnyderVerse people were saying Universal last year, oh, it's a sure bet that Universal's going to restore the SnyderVerse. Now it's Netflix going to restore the SnyderVerse. You see, they don't know what they're talking about. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Love to hear what you have to say. And with all that said, I'll catch you all later.